It's that time again where we are going to be juggling 1,001 things, trying to balance our faith with our social life, with our work life, with our career goals, with our studying. And it's hard, but if you create a good schedule and a schedule that really works for you and that has smart tweaks, then it can 100% be easy. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing firstly a free template that you can download that has a full study schedule or work schedule. You can modify it as you please. And also, secondly, a Notion tracker where you can track your habits like reading the Quran or listening to lectures or making dua, things like that. And I'm going to be sharing a couple of tips that really help me when it comes to fasting, thesis writing, doing research, studying. And when I was fasting and studying, this was like 5-6 years ago, and that was when we were breaking our fast at 9:30 p.m. So I struggled through it, and these are the tips that worked. Today it's so easy. Like, you're going to be breaking your fast at 5:30. It's basically like missing 1.5 meals, so it really isn't as hard. But either way, I'll be sharing with you how you can balance all of these things and make it work for you. The first thing you need to do, and you have a couple of days still, is you need to create a Ramadan schedule or timetable. Now, this is going to look very different from your normal timetable because who wakes up at 3 or 4 a.m. to eat? Nobody. So you have to kind of think about a schedule where you are incorporating the new things that you are going to be doing this month with the things that you already have to do, which might be taking your kids to school, which might be going to work, which might be studying and things like that. So you need to create the schedule. And like I said, there'll be a link in my description down below where you can download a free template that I've created myself. I had an old one, but I created a new one just for this year. So go ahead and download it. So these are the things that I typically like to do. So just early in the morning after you've eaten and just after you've prayed Fajr, I like to allocate maybe like half an hour there to just brainstorm, plan, write, because I know you are probably quite tired, but your mind is quite fresh. So focus on critical tasks. Personally, what I really like to write in the morning. So what I used to do is after I've prayed Fajr in the morning, maybe read a bit of Quran, I would actually just stay up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. and just write a little bit or just read a little bit. And I know that you think, oh my God, that's so early, but you can catch up on your sleep later on. But in this morning, you have got the highest focus levels and you can focus on critical tasks the best at that time. Then around lunchtime, so around midday, your energy will probably tend to dip. But this is also the time that you would probably go and have lunch. So I would replace that lunch with a walk, or replace that lunch with a walk and a podcast. So something that gets you up and off your feet, but you're still feeling like you're able to do something else in that time. So what I would say is, don't say to your employer that I'm not taking lunch anymore, I'll just work through my lunch, unless you're able to save the hour later on. If you're having to just work through your lunch, that doesn't make sense. You're just working 1 extra hour. Take your lunch, go have a walk, just take a breather and put a lecture in your ear. So in that hour, you've actually done something productive as part of Ramadan. Then another thing I would do is, after I break my fast, this is where your energy is probably going to be the highest because now you've eaten food. I would do something after that time. So even if it's just like half an hour, 1 hour, I would do something that means I'm working towards my goal, because in the afternoon you're probably going to be quite tired. So after iftar, I would tend to do a little bit of work. Now it's really easy because you're breaking your fast at like 5 o'clock, 5:30, so you still have the whole evening to do a mixture of things, but definitely you've got food in your stomach, so you can do some sort of a revision, studying or writing during that time. The second thing I like to do is I like to use a sandwich system for productivity. So that means doing work, something faith related, and a bit more work. Because what happens is when you're fasting, your focus and energy is a bit lower, right? So if you do short bursts of work, you can kind of maintain that for longer. So I would do something like 25 minutes of work, and then I'll do 5-10 minutes of maybe just reading something like a quick du'as, or like a couple of pages of Quran, or just having a walk, or just maybe stretching my legs, and then doing another 25 minutes of work. So that's 1 hour total, but I've sandwiched it with something in between. And you want to kind of repeat that cycle again and again to prevent burnout. The third thing is that I would batch work into thematic days. So you would kind of know that on a Monday, I might have a really heavy meetings day. So I would just do all my meetings on Monday, because actually Sunday I was able to rest, and I caught up on my sleep, so I should be okay on Monday. But Friday, I'm probably going to be really tired, and just the whole week has caught up with me. So let me do Mondays as my creative focused meetings, whatever day. Tuesdays will be a day where I will write a little bit more. I'll write my thesis. I will spend the afternoon on Tuesday, like I'll empty out my afternoon on Tuesday and I'll just focus on this one particular task. So just having those thematic days that you maintain throughout the month mean that your body and your mind knows what to expect, and you can have one day where you're like really high energy, high focused, powering through, in the second day where maybe you take it a little bit easier. It also means that you're reducing decision fatigue, which means that you're not having to think, oh, what should I do today? What should I do today? If you've already given yourself certain days that are themed, then you can just follow that and you don't have to think about it too much. Going back to the morning, I would always, after suhoor, just plan a little bit. So I'd always have, show it to you here, my planner. So I'd have like a planner or a diary, and I'll just take 5 to 10 minutes to look at it and plan what my day will look like. Even if I go back to sleep after 4 a.m., at least then when I wake up at 7, 8, 9, whatever time it is, I know exactly what I'm going to dive into, because there's no breakfast, right? So I can dive straight into something. But imagine if you're waking up at like 8, 9, and then you're having to like figure out what is it that I want to do today, or like, try to make a schedule at that time. You're going to feel a bit lazy and not bothered. But if you already have everything prepared and everything ready for you, then it helps. It makes such a world of difference. So just 5 minutes at suhoor time in the morning, where you spend just a couple of moments planning what you are going to do for that day. And again, you can use my schedule to kind of have that plan and just check in on it every single day. The fifth thing is something that people don't really speak about, and that is to have motivational phrases, not affirmations, but something that kind of affirms what you're doing aligns with your goals. Now, a lot of people don't realize that studying, working, looking after kids, this is all an act of faith. So by reminding yourself and having these phrases that you kind of write somewhere, you look at, saying that me studying means that I am going to be the best doctor, which means that I'm going to be helping people, which means that I'm going to be a good, it's something that shows that what you are doing, which might feel like it's taking you away from focusing in the month, like faith-wise, actually is also an act of faith. It's an act of you being able to please yourself, your family, your God, and in so many different ways. So having a list of those things just remind you again, especially just having that kind of spiritual connection and discipline to your work. If you feel like your degree is useless and it's wasting time in the month, you're not going to feel motivated when you do it. But when you reframe that thought and you say, actually, this is going to help me with X, then it becomes a completely different story. Especially for mothers or parents, it's a tough month, because you might be waking up a lot at night. You might be, having to feed kids all day and fast. On the weekends, you're still having to entertain them, but you still have to fast. So it becomes really difficult for parents, especially, to do the things that you would have done before you had kids. But reminding yourself that having your children in front of you and raising them to be good people in life, and raising them to be productive and be hardworking and disciplined is all part of faith as well. So that's kind of having that intention is really important. So this is a really, really big one. And it's the reason why in the past couple of years of being a mother, I have not felt any guilt of not doing certain things in the month, because I know that I'm raising my kids, and that is enough. The sixth thing is know your golden hours. So your golden hours are different to my golden hours, and mine is different to someone else. Some people work really well at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 1 a.m. I don't. I work well in the morning, like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. So know when those hours are and schedule yourself appropriately. Dedicate that time to doing kind of high value tasks. So when I was writing my thesis, I would dedicate that time to the writing, to the data analysis, to the structuring, to the parts that will actually make a big difference in thesis writing, as opposed to doing that in the evening when I know I'm not going to be as focused. So just look at yourself and think about what time works best for you, and create that schedule. And in that time, make sure to be super focused. Turn off your phone, no notifications, no social media, no podcast, nothing else that you're listening to or could be distracted by. Just focusing in on your one high value task, which you can complete in that day. And the last one, and this one's really cute, but I feel like, again, it goes back to the whole have your intentions. Create a thesis writing or studying dua journal. For example, you could say, Ya Allah, grant me the clarity of thought and ease in completing this work. So you could write, for example, du'as for clarity and understanding, productivity and focus, strength and perseverance, success, gratitude. These are all things that, yes, relate to what you are doing in that moment, but they're also prayers, and they're also you still worshipping and you still being involved. So even if it's like a 2-in-1, it's a bit of a cheat code, right? It's a bit of a 2-in-1. So you're praying and you're saying, thank you for all the blessings that I have, and thank you for everything that I've been given, and the opportunities that I have, and the privileges that I have. But also, please grant me clarity so I'm able to complete this work, and I'm able to have focus, and I'm able to provide for my family. So it's like you're making dua, which is great, but you're also still within the realm of what you're doing, which is your academia, your career, your life, like striving to be a better person. And it's like 2-in-1, so it's win-win. So yeah, those are kind of things that I did, and it's nothing simple, honestly, it's nothing groundbreaking. I think the most important thing is the schedule and having the mindset that everything you're doing is still an act of worship at the end of the day. So hopefully that was helpful, and I hope that it helps somebody in this month feel a little bit better about kind of balancing everything. And I just want to say that this year is not hard. This year feels like a walk in the park compared to what I went through and what many of us went through when we were students like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So do not complain. I don't want to hear complaining. This year is super easy. It's just a matter of balancing and trying to figure everything out and make it work for you. I also have a productivity community, and we're going to be doing a book club on there as well in this month, and also just kind of having a nice connection in the month, which I think would be really cute. So if you want to join the community, I'll leave the link for it down below. It's usually £499 for the whole, like, unlimited membership. There's productivity courses, like already recorded, there's workbooks, there's Notion templates, vision boarding, and there's also 2 live sessions a month with me. But I do have a discount code available down below, which gives you quite a heavy discount. So hopefully you can join. It's lifetime membership. I'm aiming for it to be the biggest productivity community led by a woman. So hopefully you'll enjoy it, and it will help you feel like you have Ramadan, you have more control in the month. But yeah, I hope to see you and hope to hear from you all soon. Leave me a comment down below, and Ramadan Kareem for anyone who is celebrating, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.